Okay, so first off, in Substance, we need something to play with, so we can create it ourselves, or we can actually use this Adobe Substance 3D asset library. So I wanted to test this one, the camouflage here. So I downloaded the SBS file so I can open it in Substance. So let's jump into Substance here and see what we need to do to get this into Mari. Okay, so before we import this into Mari, let's take a look here what we can do. So yeah, first off, I'm using ACES in Mari, so I want to use ACES here in Substance as well. So I went here to my color management tab and set up here OCIO. So I think by default it's set to legacy, and I switched this over to ACES 1.2 and hit apply, and you need to restart Substance for this to take effect. The rest is quite simple here really. We have our graph here and everything is set up. We want to export these maps out. The thing is, there is an option here to automatic export when output change. So this is the ingredients if you want to stream something. So imagine that we do change here in Substance and we actually want to see it live in Mari on our model. And this is where it comes in handy, because when I do change, it will automatically compile the textures disk. So I save out my files here. I check this box. Anytime I do a change, it will trigger an update here. I docked here Mari and Substance next to each other to be able to see this in action. So yeah, the thing we need to do here to our images when we have imported them. So you see here, I already applied this to a material. I'm gonna come back to this in a second. And yeah, what we need to do is to select the image that we want to be streamed here, and go here to my reload and activate auto reload on selection. And that's kind of it really. And this is a extension pack feature, so yeah, it will not work if you're using vanilla Mari. Now let's take a look here what happens if I, for example, go into my presets here and just say here scratch tiger stripe camo, and see here what happens. After this, just a small because it needs to save out the image to disk, and then Mari loads them back. So let's take a look at the next one. Yeah, so if we would now here want to start to dev this, we can do our things here in the stream. It will update after a short iteration when it writes it to disk, and we can see it onto our asset. Let's take a look here at this material, because I had to do a few things. This is a Pixar surface material, as this one is using Metalness and this one is using physical spec. I made a few bits and bobs inside the material to get that to work. So here's the node graph is quite basic. So essentially this is the material, and I actually have some decals coming in here on top. But let's take a look inside here and see what I do here. Yeah, so we have here a few axis projection nodes, and this is kind of like a three-planar projection. So if I will go here and tweak here my world scale, this material will be applied with different scales here. So that's one part of the ingredient mentioned. I am using here a physical spec, but I'm using a metallic map, and this is kind of how I do it. So if I'm looking here at my metallic map, and we see now here we have more of this metalness. And so what I do here is to utilize a procedural pattern that I create in an IR blend node. So I have two physical spec procedurals coming in here. We have one for plastic or Teflon and one for iron. And I'm essentially using this metal mask here to blend between these two. The values coming out here, I'm blending edge color, index of refraction, and extinction coefficient. So in the bottom where it's black, it's IR Teflon, and where it's white, it's gonna be this IR iron. And let's take a look at the map here. Edge color out, it's gonna be looking kind of whitish. IR is gonna be looking the index of refraction values for these two materials. So these are float values. Some of the values here is far beyond one. Extinction coefficient, and it's gonna be where, for example, where it's non-metallic, it's going to be black. And you can see here, this is also float values. And I'm actually also blending here specular roughness between the two materials using this blend node that I created here. A blend node, essentially, if I double click on this one, it's just a node graph here. You can see here I have inputs here for the non-metallic part, and the inputs for the metallic part, and they are all using this mask. And this one I'm using for a lot of my material creation when I blend between different surface properties or material properties. So yeah, that's kind of it for this one. And the rest here is essentially I'm using radio nodes here to broadcast within the material. So this is kind of what I set up the maps that I'm using. But yeah, if we want to see more of material creation techniques, I have a lot of playlists on my YouTube channel. So let's check out the more material creation. If you now at the end here like what I did, leave a comment in the comment section and tell me what you want to see more of and what I can improve, and see you on my YouTube channel. Have a good day. Bye bye.